let's stitch some English paper pieces together. So all you need is some scissors. I've got my little Sew Tights magnet, or you could use one of the Clover Magic clips. Got some 50 weight thread and my favorite English paper piecing needle, which happens to be very thin because you don't want a chunky needle going through your paper pieces. So to get started, I'm gonna do a little hexagon flower, which is one of the most traditional standard English paper piecing things, and they're always cute. So I know I want yellow as my center, and then these colors are gonna alternate around it. So I'm just gonna start with one of my other colors, and then what you wanna do is just right sides together, line up one of your edges really nice, and then lock it down with a magnet or your clip. I'm gonna use a magnet because I'm a heavy-handed stitcher and my pieces could move all over the place and I don't want that. And then for my thread, I'm gonna use a nice long piece because I'm gonna double this over to make my knot go quicker. Because you want to stitch with one strand of thread. When you double it up like this, you don't have to make so many knots. It does it quicker for you. So I'm just doing my little knot at the end. I like a nice little chunky knot and I want it to be secure. So I'm knotting this, I probably do it like 4 times. So I get my little knot, it's got a little tail on the end. I just snip that off and then I just separate the threads, and really close to the knot I will snip one of the strands. So then you just have a single strand to use. So then you get your pieces and I just hold it nice and tight. You can feel it. You're gonna catch the papers a little bit, but the main objective is to go as close to the top of the papers as you can over them, and then just through the fabric that is folded over on that edge whenever you glued it. So I'm gonna go through, got my knot there, and then I'm just gonna go over, back through the other side. Sometimes you'll have to give it a little oomph because it will go through the cardstock paper. That's okay. Thank you for that, Oakley. So you're just gonna do that all the way to the edge. In the stitch length that I'm doing, they're probably as close as like a 1/16 of an inch. So you don't want them too spaced apart. You want them to be nice and tight and secure. And then you just go through the end. And there is your first row of stitches. So whenever you unfold your pieces, here is your center, here's your first piece, and you're gonna do that all the way around, and then you can go back and do the side seams. So I'm gonna line it up the same way, make sure it's nice and even, flush on the edges. So I've attached my last piece that's going around my center. So I'm gonna take my magnet out, and this is what you've got. You've got your little flower, but it's a little all over the place. So now you want to secure all of these little side seams. Kept my needle on there because I've still got plenty of thread. This is how you would stitch it with it just not being right sides facing together. So you're gonna come up at the corner and then just go across to the other piece. Got your little stitch. And then you're just gonna keep doing that, keeping similar as you can get stitch length to just try to make it consistent. So you're just gonna keep doing the same thing. Of course, I'm putting my thumb right in the way to keep it lined up. I like to live life on the edge and not use a thimble. And that's why I poke myself a lot whenever I'm doing this. But a nice grippy rubber thimble, not a bad idea. Almost to the end. So that's a nice thing. If you have a nice length of thread, you can get a lot done before you've got to knot it off and start over again. But with these corners, we're gonna have to knot this off to keep going. So now those are nice and secure and together. So then I just lay my piece down flat, and then again, to make the knot easier, I pull the tail on my thread to make a nice double knot, just because it makes it go faster. And then I cut off the little tail. Knot it probably about 4 times to make it nice and secure. And then snip it off. And then you just continue all the way around. Right, just tied my final knot. And there is my little Hexie flower. Cute as can be. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this encouraged you to get started with English paper piecing and that you have fun with it. Woo!